Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, this allows you to shop from the comfort of your home just by clicking the Shop, Click, Drive button. And who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. And welcome to episode 139 of The Mom Game. I'm Emily Jones. She's Julie Dobbs. I'm at the house, which is a good thing, but not such a good thing that we're not together. Julie is in studio. I'm confident that by next week, we will be back together again. Julie, reunited, and it will feel so good.
Okay, good. I hope so, because we will have my speakeasy friends on the show next week, and it's way better if we're all together.
Actually, the speakeasy boys aren't going to be airing until the week of Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, but we'll be shooting next week.
Yes.
So I hope you're here. Yeah.
I will be there. I just went through our schedule last night. That's why I was just making sure I was right. But yeah, I should be there next week. I'm feeling much better because I got sick. I think I predicted it on last week's show that it was going to happen, and it did. But it's okay. I feel like Henry's been sick he was sick Friday, home from school. He tried to kind of push it over the weekend. He wanted to go to the Tech TCU game. He wanted to play in his football game. He thought he was feeling good. And then by the time Monday rolled around, he crashed again. So we held him out on Monday. Tuesday's election day, no school. So it's like, for sure by Wednesday, we're all going to be back to close to normal.
Yeah. So same like flu-y type stuff that I probably had.
And just like, like achy, lethargic, zero energy, zero appetite, just not fun, It's like, a hangover that you don't know how long it's going to last.
Right. Yeah. We've had
like a hangover. It's like, oh, well, at least it's going to be over at some point.
Yeah.
But this, you're just like, ugh, he sucks.
It's funny because we started this show like right before COVID hit. So I feel like so much of our show has been like sickness talk, like was it always this way? It's just kind of crazy.
Yeah. And I feel like there's so much going around right now, especially in the schools and stuff, that it's just, it's just crazy. I mean, to think about. And then how COVID, like we talked about, did we talk about this with you last week or no? But somebody brought up the point because we were talking about everything going around, and on one hand, you're like, well, during COVID, we really didn't have flu because everyone was wearing masks. So should we all just go back to wearing masks again? And then somebody wisely in the medical field that I was talking to was like, our immunities are pretty down low because we haven't been exposed to anything.
Right.
So I would be curious to talk to like someone who is in this realm about how kind of all that domino effect happened, And I'm not trying to get political at all. Like,
no, I think we're at least here on the show, we're over tiny.
Yeah, I mean, we wore masks for a reason, and I was fine doing it.
When figure out how to live life,
right? But it's like, what did that do to us? That also, our immune systems aren't built up.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Part of the reason why it's crazy right now.
In my expert opinion, like, I don't know, but it made me think. I don't know. Just a different. I never thought about that. I was like, oh well, yeah.
Now
we don't
everybody's
have an
sick.
immune system.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so this is cool because this is our first taste of your new house.
It is.
It looks
is.
very beautiful
Again,
behind you. I like your new background situation.
thank you. It's very echoey in here.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to see my
Yes.
beautiful
Show me
yard
stuff.
and landscaping?
Yes.
This is the view from my office.
It's gonna be.
Look at this.
It's gonna be. I knew it was gonna be not done. Yeah.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Uh-huh.
It's nothing but mud. It's nothing
Okay.
but mud.
Yeah. Well, that's just
But
temporary.
this is kind of my little happy place. This is where I come to do work, and
I want to
this is-
see. Can you show me this? Can you spin in your happy place?
yeah, this is my happy place. So this is the back wall.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Not everything, obviously, not everything's up yet or done. You still have some things to hang, but this room is pretty much. Oh, this back wall is going to have wallpaper on it, but
Uh-huh. So that's your office?
this is my office, and it's my office. This is not Mike's office. This is not the family's office. This is my office.
Oh, it's lovely. Does Mike have his own office too?
He has what's called the fishing room, Julie.
Okay, let's talk
And
about this.
I will when I'll take you on a tour. Well, you're coming here in like a week and a half,
Yeah.
which I'm excited about. But Mike has what's called the fishing room. And when we designed this house, I wanted a room for all of his fishing shit. He has so much shit, like boots and what are those things? Waders and rods and trunks of shit. And I'm just like, I just wanted a room. So it turned into a room off the garage. Well, it ended up being huge. And so we put like a couch and some chairs and a TV. And so that's kind of like his man cave, I guess you could call it. But that's where his office is. He has a desk in there and everything. And so this is my space.
That's so fun. You each have your own little space.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
perfect. That should help a good marriage. Now, do you have a pooping hut?
A what?
Remember what we talked about?
A poop hut?
Yeah. What do we call it?
I
A
don't
poop house.
remember.
Yeah, we talked about having somewhere separate that's not near the bedroom where men can go to do their business, or women. If we do
Yeah.
that, we'll never know. But
Yeah,
we
I
know
think
that men
it's
do.
just it's a poop hut roulette. It's just like wherever you want to go that's not close to me. You know, wherever that may be.
Okay. So you have some good options. There's a lot of space there, so you can surely put a lot of distance between each other when you have to do the business.
Yeah. There's poop huts everywhere. And so
Okay,
it's just
good.
pick a poop hut that's not close to me or anyone else.
Poop huts
Pick
galore.
the furthest possible poop hut you can find. That's the strategy.
Okay, I love it. And you've still got a bunch of dirt back there, so you could build a proper outhouse too. There's still time.
Still have a porta potty, Julie. Still have a
We'll
porta
send
potty.
them out there. Just kidding,
okay,
Mike.
How
just
are you
kidding.
feeling? Kelly comes home at some point, I think.
I think.
How's Julie's world?
It's okay. I'm not sick anymore, so that's good. Because that was just like adding insult to injury at that point. It's good, just managing. You know, Kelly's on the tail end of a 1 week trip, which is his second 1 week trip of the season already, and then he comes back until Saturday, and he leaves again for almost a week. So it's very road heavy to start the season. The month of November is bad, and I take the approach of like kind of day by day, which is good and bad. The bad part is that I'll look at the calendar and be like, oh, he's gone all next week too, and I haven't mentally prepared for that. So just trying to figure it all out with the kids' activities and all that, and still doing the morning show and sometimes the afternoon show, which is just temporary. But all of the radio stuff is like so fun, and it's going great. It's just I need like two of me, you know, that feeling.
I know, and I saw the cutest picture of you hugging Reiner.
I know, wasn't that cute?
He was adorable. And can I just tell you how smoking hot you look?
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
look all high and tight, and
Well,
you look good, girl.
Thanks. You know, we only post pictures of ourselves that we approve of personally. So it was like, I saw that picture. I like the message. I love this. I need to give our whole station a little boost by continuing to kind of put it out there on social media. I don't look so bad.
I mean, I'm just saying, my girl looks good.
There's plenty of pictures, as we both know, that we hate of ourselves. We hate of ourselves. You and I cannot agree on a picture ever. So
it's awful.
I know.
We're going to get some new pictures made soon.
So when you see one, and it might just happen to be because you can't even see my face at all, or, because I'm smothered by the hug. But when you see one that's decent, you know how this goes. We post that shit wherever.
Oh, well, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
And can I just tell you that it made me crack up too, because I've been on the receiving end of so many of those like death grip Reiner hugs. Love him so much. I never feel uncomfortable. He's never made me feel any uncomfortable way, but he likes to bring you in and give you a big old nice hug.
He really does. It's a nice, he's very cozy and warm, and he's just so happy right now with like where he's at, I think, and doing radio again. And that was cool because that was a moment that was just like candid. That was in the first break, I think, right after the station launched, and Mike welcomed everybody to the downbeat and to the freak, and then we like just hugged in the break, and someone captured that. So that was good and fun.
I'm so happy for you. I've been listening. Y'all are killing it.
Yeah, thanks. We're getting our bearings, right? It's a long process. We're going to evolve. We're going to evolve as a show, as a station. We're going to add people. We're going to get the hang of things and all that. So it's good.
Well, good. I'm stoked for you.
Yes, that's my
okay. Let's we got a lot to get to today. So let's start with a little bit of sports. And I'm going to have to tell you, I'm very behind on a lot of sportsy things.
You're going to make me do this again?
I'm going to have to rely on you, my girl, to fill me in. I know Cowboys have the Packers this week. That's exciting. What time is that game? Is it?
I think it's like 3:25 game, but
okay, nice.
I'm pretty sure it's not a noon game again. The first two before the bye were noon games, which was terrible in my opinion, because that's like right in the middle of when we're all busy on Sundays doing things.
I hope to have full cable by then.
Yeah, I hope you do too. Let's see here. So yeah, the Cowboys are going to be on the road against the Packers on Sunday. Should be an easy win, but you don't really want to say that. We were talking about it a little today off the air, because we talk sports off the air too, which is stupid. But we were talking about this game and Aaron Rodgers and how he's having a terrible season, and it looks like he might have lost, the magic touch that Aaron Rodgers has had for so long. But he's also Aaron Rodgers, and you just never know, and you can't count him out, and he could have the game of his life against the Cowboys on Sunday. So you don't know what you're going to get with him. The Packers aren't doing very well. The Cowboys 6-2.
Oh, I was going to do the breaking news sounder to tell us what the Cowboys record is. What is Cowboy? Breaking news here on the Mom Game. The Cowboys record is
6-2.
6-2.
I can confidently say that without looking.
What about the Packers? I bet they're like 3-5.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to give me a second
if
you want that breaking news. But yeah, the news around the Cowboys right now is the possible acquisition of one Odell Beckham Jr.
Ooh, I'm in. I'm so in.
I am too.
So in.
And the betting websites say that the Cowboys have the highest chance of signing him of anybody. He has given on interview, maybe one or two, where he listed a few teams that he would go to. One of them is Dallas. Jerry Jones is saying the things that Jerry Jones will say, like, oh, he sure would look good with the star on his helmet, and I sure would like that, and, like kind of hinting that it might happen. I think today we said if you bet $100 on him coming to Dallas, you'd win $250 right now.
Oh, I'm in.
I'm in too, but I don't know how to do it.
Okay, I'm going to see about it.
Okay.
I'm going to see about it. It could be a Mom Game bet. I'm writing it down.
Let's do it.
All right, so $100 on OBJ.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right.
I want to make little fun bets like that. I don't want to become like obsessed, but that one sounded fun to me, and we could do it on behalf of the Mom Game.
Listen, I'm your girl for fun betting, Julie.
I know.
I'm your source right here for fun betting.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So that could happen. I think, I think it'd be good. I don't know. He's obviously like his knock. Well, there's a couple knocks. He's coming off of his second ACL surgery, and he's saying that he's ready to go. The other knock is personality. What would he be like in the locker room? All of that. He's the whole diva wide receiver thing. But upon further review, I was trying to remember, like, okay, what has he actually done? Like, has he done anything? Has he broken any laws? Has he done anything that's unforgivable? It's all just like diva stuff, like behavior, like, you know, unhappy in a situation. So maybe he pouts a little bit, or he overreacts to something he doesn't agree with during a game, that kind of thing.
And don't you feel like this Cowboys locker room, I mean, from an outsider's perspective, seems fully equipped to handle that? I mean, I feel like Dak Prescott would have that way under control, and Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, as crazy as he has been or stuff he can do, I think he's a constant, and he's a very well-respected guy in that locker room from all indications.
Yeah.
They say I'm not around them.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's like score a few touchdowns and no one here is going to care.
Exactly.
Right? Like he could just be that missing piece that they need on the offense. Dak needs another weapon, somebody that can create some separation and get down the field fast and make the big play.
I'm so excited to watch it and have fun and not be doing stuff.
Right. So, yeah, it should be fun. So we will definitely have an eye on that one, and both of us, I know, on Sunday.
Yeah. All right. Mavericks breaking news. What's the Mavericks record now?
I don't know.
You don't know. They're winning. They just won last night. I know.
They won last night. I think they won 4-1. Like,
yeah, that's it. I heard it. I heard it on the Freak.
On the Freak, yeah. On this latest.
So they had a 5-game homestand, and they went 4-1.
Yeah.
Winning.
So they're looking pretty good. Luka, I mean, he's had a 30-point game every game to start this season.
He's correct.
At least he's averaging 36. Averaging 36. Yeah, this is insane. Correct. He's crazy. He's making all the crazy, ridiculous shots. He's making the other teams look like a bunch of idiots on defense. Like, he's just unbelievable. I'm so happy to see it. I hope and pray that he's having fun and that he likes it here and he's found some good places to go eat dinner and that he likes Dallas as a city. I did see, because I feel like Luka is another tier of famous than most Dallas athletes for some reason, just because he is that good. Like MVP level in the whole league. And I don't know what he does. Like, what does Luka do in town? I think he goes to like dog parks. He's got dogs. But other than that, yeah, like what?
You think he's hanging out like around Uptown or anything?
I don't know. I feel like I can't really figure out which establishments in Dallas are good enough for Luka. Like, what's on his level? He's one of the best in the league. So, like, does Dallas have anything that can compete to being that good for him?
Okay, so here we go. It's now find Luka in the wild, and y'all send us pictures.
Yes. Find Luka in the wild. His girlfriend, who we've tried to get here on the Mom Game, Anna Maria, she's precious and gorgeous, obviously. I follow her on the socials, and she posted a video, and I was like, ooh, this is a glimpse into like something they're doing on a Friday or Saturday night. And it looked like maybe a Spanish performer singing, and it was a crowded, like indoor, maybe someone's fancy house or a really fancy restaurant, and there was a lady like singing very sophisticated Spanish music, like nothing that I would go see, because I go see stupid shit, right? Like, I don't know, I go to dumb stuff, but it looked very like European, and I'm like, okay, this is
so refined. Like, they're very refined.
Yes, like it was a fancy dinner party with like an opera singer there. You know, it wasn't an opera singer, but it was the same vibes. So I was trying to dig, like, where are they? What do they do? But anyway, I just hope that he's happy here, because he's that good, and we all want and need him to stay.
He is that good. We love you, Luka. And we love you, Luka's girlfriend, Anna Marie?
I think
so. I
follow
her too. Yeah. She's adorable.
Yeah.
She's going to be our next mission, is to get her on after.
I would love that. Mavericks, ready for the breaking news? The Mavericks are 6-3.
Yes. 6-3.
They are 6-3. They're 5th in the West. They have a 667 win percentage. Good stuff.
All right. Well, we're talking about records. What's the Stars record?
I want to say they're like 8-4, but I gotta look it up real quick.
They're still playing good hockey.
Yes, they are 8-3-1, so I was close. Yeah, they have won 3 in a row, Emily, and they are outscoring opponents like by a ridiculous amount. Their last 3 wins, I want to say it was like a 5-2 and then a 7-2 and then a 6-2 kind of thing. Like,
so this Peter DeBoer just comes to town and turns on the offense. Like, is he that effing good? Like, I'm so blown away in a good way by what is going on.
I know. I think so. They had like Ken Hitchcock, Jim Montgomery, Rick Bowness, bam, 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 all in a row. They were all defensive first mentality, and I think a lot of it was based on like the previous staff. They were all trying to piggyback off of like what Hitch laid down when he came in, and the ownership basically directed him to like lay down the hammer, like get these guys to play defense. We don't care how many goals they score. We just need to focus on defense, blah, 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 blah. And so they all were similar. You know, they had different strategies along the way, but I think Pete DeBoer is just kind of a total different mindset where he gives the guys the freedom he gives the defensemen freedom to activate offensively. And once they're all realizing that it works, they all have more confidence. And you have a guy like Jason Robertson that I think is 7th in the league right now in scoring. You have Rope Hintz. You have Joe Pavelski. You have other guys that are contributing offensively. And then you have Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin. And they added one piece, Mason Marchment. He's been really good to start the season. So we did need that. We needed another scoring threat, and they found that in the offseason. Also, honestly, like I think when you have a lot of confidence in your netminder, you can feel more freedom to get down onto the other side of the ice and play more offensively and score. And the defensemen don't feel like they need to stay back as much. So I think it's a combination of all of that. But yes, Pete DeBoer and the coaching staff have done a wonderful job of kind of seeing what they have and letting those guys play to their strengths. So it's been good. It's been really fun. I feel like there's good vibes around the team right now. Jason Robertson, who I mentioned, the 23-year-old who led the team in scoring last year, and then he held out. He missed most of training camp because they were trying to figure out a new contract, and it was kind of touch and go there for a minute to see if they were going to come to an agreement. He did, and he was just named first star of the week this week.
I was going to break that news because I heard it, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah. And he's awesome. He is a really sweet young kid. He's Filipino, and I think that tonight's game in Winnipeg, the NHL has all these different nights, and at least in Winnipeg tonight, it's like Filipino night, and he's going to be a part of the ceremonial puck drop, and he's also first star of the week, and leading the team in scoring and just kind of playing out of his mind right now. Pete DeBoer had a funny quote. It was like, I hope nobody else takes notice because I don't want people to think that they can miss all of training camp and then come in and just like set the league on fire scoring wise. But it's awesome. I mean, that's what we need. That's what we were missing a couple of seasons, is just that guy that is almost like a point a game kind of guy that you can rely on.
I know. And I can't wait. I've got to look at the calendar soon to look when the kids are out for Christmas break we've got to get to a game. That's going to be the time. So I'm writing on my list.
Put it on your little list.
$100 on OBJ Stars game. Okay. Before we get to the breaking news about the World Series, we should probably remind everyone who Sports is brought to us by, Julie.
Oh, yes. That is a good idea. Sports brought to us by Melanie Cobb, D-Velour Wellness. Melanie has become a friend to both of us. She is a certified physician's assistant who is feeling overwhelmed with life, with her very demanding job in the medical field. And like us, and like we've done with this podcast, kind of took a moment to say, okay, what is it that I want to do? And what am I good at? And that was skincare for her. So she started D-Velour Medical Wellness. They're based out of Fort Worth, but if you don't live in Fort Worth, You can do a free virtual consultation. She can send you stuff. I'm trying to work on a time for her to come to Dallas and maybe see people here too. But she is now, I think, both of our go-to person for all of our skincare needs. I'm really loving the Zio products that I've got from her. We've had a couple facials from her. She can also do your Botox. Everything else, she's going to shoot you straight. She's going to tell you what you need and get you looking good, and it's not going to break the bank like a lot of medical spas will do to you. So we love Melanie at Divalore Medical Wellness. We really hope that you've reached out to her by now. There's really no reason not to. She offers chemical peels, microneedling, natural hair restoration. If you want to tell maybe your husband about that or somebody, hey, maybe just call our girl Melanie, and don't tell them like you want them to have more hair, but just kind of subtly nudge them, and then she can do it for you.
Or if you're thinking about what you want for Christmas, like how about, instead of a bunch of little things, like how about, give me a big old gift certificate to Divalore and she can hook it all up.
Yes, exactly. So surely you've been sold by this point. It is Divalore, Divalore, medicalwellness.com/themomgame. And you can also find her link in our link tree, which can be found on our Twitter, on our Instagram. Click on it. It'll take you to the Mom Game landing page, and then book that free consultation with Melanie, and she will get you all hooked up.
Okay. Breaking news. The Astros won the World Series.
Oh my gosh, they did.
This is going to be the shortest segment ever because I don't really want to talk about it. As I've mentioned a million times, I'm super stoked for my girl, Julia Morales. I love her so much. I like players on that team. I just cannot bring myself as a human being to root for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do recognize they are freaking stacked. They are so good. They have built the right way. They've established, they've built through their farm system. I mean, you freaking get rid of Carlos Correa and you got Jeremy Pena just coming in, Jordan Alvarez. Like,
he was World Season MVP, right? Pena?
Do what?
Was he World Series MVP?
Yeah. Which one?
The rookie.
Yes, Jeremy Pena.
That's cool. Like, that's not very often you see that.
And he's good. Like, if baseball is smart, they will glom onto him like nobody's business. He's so marketable. From all indications, he's a great kid. And so it's as much as it pains me to say it, like they're a legit team, a legit organization. And just when I thought like their run might be over a year, this year or last year, it's not. I don't know when it's going to be. It's probably going to make me crazy. But again, congrats to my girl Julia Morales, and congrats to the Astros.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I found myself not rooting for them. I didn't root for them, but once they won and I watched their celebration and I actually did a couple segments on it, on the Freak, Dusty Baker and Justin Verlander. Those are a couple guys that I felt happy.
Yeah. And just, okay. But yeah, Dusty Baker. Love Dusty Baker. He's been around a long time.
Yeah.
For him to get his ring is a big freaking deal.
So, it was because of the interview I heard from Verlander. Okay. I really liked what he said, and he was talking about his family and his little girl who is Anna's age, and he's married to Kate Upton, and he seemed like he'd had some sort of like emotional epiphany where he was realizing what he had in life and family and all that. So I feel like he's maybe changed a lot, and people aren't recognizing that.
Maybe that's the case. Okay, so that's it. That's all I can do on the Astros winning the World Series because it hurts me. Okay, time to get to some TMG News Desk, and this is brought to us by Bottle Rover. And I was so thankful for Bottle Rover because I told you I had college kids, my niece and her friends, in over the weekend. The last thing I wanted to do was go and get their Seagrams or Twisted Teas or whatever they wanted. Yeah. So all I did was I just opened up my little Bottle Rover app, ordered whatever they wanted, scheduled the delivery. It was there, Friday, 11 a.m. They got here on Friday, and I did not have to worry about doing that. We even had to do a little reorder because they liked those fruity drinks so much. We had to get some more. So just so convenient. Bottle Rover is an online, alcohol delivery app, which makes things just so incredibly easy. You basically just download the app on your iPhone, Android, whatever it is, and then put in your order, find a store close to you. $50 or more gets you free delivery. They drop it at your doorstep. Just got to show your driver's license to make sure you're 21, and it is amazing. So I cannot tell you how convenient it makes things. So download the Bottle Rover app and check them out. Take that off your list. If you've got people coming over, if you just need a couple of bottles of wine, a couple of bottles of Herman Marshall whiskey, Noble Lines wine. Oh my God. Oh dear.
I'm good. Excuse me.
Okay. So if you need a couple bottles of Noble Vines wine, or some Herman Marshall whiskey, or some fruity drinks for your college niece and her friends, Bottle Rover is where it is at. So thanks to our friends at Bottle Rover for not only helping us out here on the Mom Game, but helping us out personally on a very personal level.
Thank you, Bottle Rover. We love you.
Huh?
I said, thank you, Bottle Rover. We love you.
Okay. I know. I'm so ready for us to both be back in studio, so we don't have us talking over each other. Mm-hmm. So next week it's happening.
Okay.
Okay. So TMG News Desk, you sent me this article about parents who've raised highly successful adults. Mm-hmm. The rare skill they all taught their kids.
Yep.
And I haven't read the article yet, so I need you to tell me.
Okay. So I feel like I would love to have a podcast where I'm entertained, where I learn a little bit about sports, and where I maybe feel like I leave being a better parent. Is there a podcast like that?
I think there is, and it's called The Mom Game.
Okay, good. So when I see an article like this that I think has something short and sweet that I can retain, I try to pass it along. And I think this does that. So this was the person who wrote the article said, I talked to 70 parents of highly successful adults. And the one thing that these 70 parents of highly successful adults seem to all have in common is to teach your kids to be curious. And a lot of kids are just born with that, right? And that's one of the things that really tests our patience sometimes, because your kid is always saying, Mom, what's this? Or what's that? Or why this? Or why that? And me personally, when I read this and hear this, I'm like, sometimes I just want to squash that because I need to go do something that. And so this was a good one for me to read, because it's something that you can instill in your kids that can make a long-term difference for them. And so this article tells you how to teach your kids to be more curious. One, they encourage their kids to fix things. And so they interviewed people who run companies now, right? Like this person that's interviewed first runs Geek Squad. We all know Geek Squad. It's very highly successful. So when he was young, his parents kind of taught him how to fix things. He became the fix-it guy in the family. He says, I took apart a radio to study it. People would say, Robert can fix anything. It gave me a sense of pride and self-esteem. So whether it's like just a little thing that maybe you're going to fix, or that your husband's going to fix, or that you're looking up on YouTube how to fix, like just ask your kid if they want to come watch, and they can observe. And I think their little minds will perhaps really enjoy that and soak it all up, like a bad light bulb or a leaky faucet. Use it as a teaching opportunity with your kids. And also, if this is a boy we're talking about, that future wife of that boy is going to be very happy if you can raise a handyman.
Yeah, or be a handy woman. That's what I want Hattie. Like,
yeah, true.
I feel like a lot of times we just defer to the boys and like, oh, you do this and this. Like, I want Hattie to be able to fix shit. You know, I was raised by my daddy, and so I knew how to change a tire. I knew how to, do certain things. I mean, I think we even checked the. Remember? Did you ever check oil? Like, I learned how to check oil. I don't know. I didn't change it. Let's be clear, but I could check the oil. I could change a tire. Now, granted, it would take me a while, but I mean, he taught me, not survival things, but like little things.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that he taught me those things.
My stepdad did that too.
I want Hattie to learn the same things that Henry learns,
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't have to just teach the boys. Teach the girls, teach the boys, teach everybody. And then perhaps they could grow to be highly successful too. One, and number two, they instilled the confidence to tackle big real world problems. In this person who runs Kiva, a peer-to-peer lending platform that has lent more than $1 billion in microfinance loans to small businesses. Okay, so this Jessica chick, she's doing well, right? She said, my mom built confidence every single day. She told me I could do anything I wanted to do, no matter how unachievable and ambitious it seemed. And in very specific ways, we would talk about different leadership opportunities. They also had a rule to never be bored. I think that one's huge. We were always learning things together, playing games, exploring, having little adventures. The spirit prepared me to be an entrepreneur. And I know, Em, like, this is something that definitely your kids are going to see in you, whether you're taking the time to try and teach it or not. I think it's really cool when, like, kids can see their moms being entrepreneurs and starting companies and building things and working hard and never being bored. How often do you sit around bored and say, like, you know, like, your kids see that in you, and I think they're going to grow up.
Same for you, Julie. Same for you, honey.
Same, but I don't know. But yeah, it's cool if they can see that and kind of like Henry has, I know, started his own little companies already to be entrepreneurs and all of that. It's like we don't realize sometimes how much they're soaking in and how much they're observing us and how much they're learning from us as moms.
And every kid's different. Every family dynamic is different. But now my kids have reached an age where we've talked about this before, where there was a time when they wanted me, and not that they don't want me around anymore, but when we have that conversation about is mommy going to go back to work next year? Is mommy going to go back to the Rangers? It used to be kind of this like, oh, we wish you were here for that, or now it's just like they see it and they appreciate it, and they want me to do whatever I want, but they encourage me. They encourage me, and they have the last couple of years, which is such a relief for me when you have that mom guilt or dad guilt or any kind of guilt that you're missing things, to know that you've involved your kids in this conversation and that they actually appreciate and recognize what it is that you do. Whether, regardless of what job you have, it makes you feel really good.
Yeah, I think so too. So that's one reminder. And there's one more. They ask the hard questions. And this is an example. It says, resist the temptation to make choices for your kids. Let them make their own decisions. And here's an example of it. It says, let's say your child went outside during a lightning storm, right? Not a good idea. You could ask them, instead of just being like, what are you doing? Don't go out there. You could get hurt. Come on. Like, which I might say on a stressed out night or whatever. What you should say, and a lot of these remind me of our parenting expert friend, Amy McCready. I really enjoyed talking to her early on in our podcast. I'd love to have her back. But you could ask, you put yourself in a very risky situation. How did you analyze it? Maybe we won't say analyze. I won't to my 4-year-old, but something like that. Also, what made you decide to do what you did? Is there anything you learned from this experience that would make you evaluate risk differently next time? So actually, it's really hard in the moment to come up with these things. But if you can take a step back and say, okay, how do I approach this situation differently, and let them answer the questions as to why they did it and what did they learn from it, then you get their little minds thinking about it, and then maybe things will start clicking for them next time, and they'll go back to that thought process and not do it. And they're learning and growing at the same time.
Well, I love this. I love that. I love that you find little things like this, because I feel like you're so good at it and I'm not. But I love little things like this because it is a good reminder, of be patient with the curiosity, all those things.
Yeah. So, curiosity is a good thing, and you could become a CEO someday if you nurture the curiosity instead of squashing it. So that's a message to myself.
Love it. Okay, let's wrap up with a little what's on your feed, brought to us by our friends at Early Bird, which I partook in last night, and it gave me some of the best sleep I've had in so long, and I've been so wrapped up in everything. It just made me chill. Mm-hmm. I laid in bed. I watched a show on my phone because the TV in the bedroom's not working yet. But it was Early Bird put me in a really happy place. It was very, very good, Julie.
Good. I'm glad. I love the Early Bird too, and I want to call an audible on what's on your feed, because that's another article that is maybe we'll save because it's a little bit more in depth. Okay. What's on my feed lately? And I just want to give another shout out to our other little side hustle, which we're going to have a meeting about soon. But the Dub Network, it's been all over my feed. And I feel like maybe people don't know everything that we're doing with the Dub Network, but if you could go find us on Twitter, Dubcasts is where, or sorry, on Instagram, Dubcasts, and I'd have to look what it is on Twitter, the Dub Network. But we have some really cool podcasts that we helped these athletes launch. Kevin Minch is doing a baseball one. Craig Ludwig, Suns with Luds, I feel like is really taking off with the hockey world.
And talk about a fan of the early bird.
And that's kind of what made me think about it too.
Luddy loves him some early bird.
He loves him some early bird.
As if Luddy could get any more chill. Early bird makes him even more chill.
I know. And he said he was having a hard time sleeping, and so early bird has helped him a lot with that. We have Nate Newton and Isaiah Stanback, who I just love how much they've leaned into this and are loving having their own show to do whatever they want with. Nate Newton, who of course won 3 Super Bowls with the Cowboys back in the 90s with Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith. He was on that team. He's kind of a big deal. He's doing this podcast with us here on the Dub Network. This past week, he brought in his baby brother, who is actually the head of security for the Orlando Magic. So when the Magic were in town to play the Mavs, like he's the guy that travels with them and makes sure everything's all squared away. Every team has one of these guys. It's a very important job. That's Nate Newton's brother that does that for the Magic. So Nate had him come into the studio and do a little show, just kind of talking about his job and their relationship as brothers. It was really awesome. Nate Newton is a big teddy bear. I love him. And Isaiah Stanback is just such a talented former athlete. He was very talented as a quarterback in college, and he's a very talented broadcaster now. We're lucky to have him. Their show, Let Me Tell You Something, is really good, talking about the Cowboys, all things NFL and life. They're not afraid to go deep on you. And then Harp's Court with Derek Harper. So if you listen to Mavs games, you know Derek Harper. He's on every broadcast with Mark Followell, and he has just recently brought on a co-host, Mark Aguirre, and I'm super excited for the direction that their show's taking. This week, they have Sean Marion on, former Maverick who won a title with Dirk and has a wonderful NBA career. And off the top, there's some wonderful HSOs about the Hall of Fame and Sean Marion's thoughts on why he's not there yet and who should be in the Hall of Fame in the NBA. It's really good. So just another plug for all of those shows. If you're not into that kind of thing, tell someone who may be, because we're really trying to grow that thing too. And there are friends here on the Mom Game, and
there are people.
I'm excited for these guys, to all have their own shows. And so we have a meeting to talk about all that today and the direction that's going, but I'm hoping that's on y'all's feeds. They're definitely on my feeds.
Yeah. Check out Dubcast, the Dub Network. Search for it, Google it, subscribe to their podcasts. Like I said, there are people. So I'm glad you brought that up. And we want to help them grow. They're trying to grow just like, the Mom Game has and will continue to do. And we love those fools. They're a mess, but we love them. They're just like us.
They are.
Yes.
They're fun. They've just accomplished more when it comes to sports.
just a tad.
Just a tad. More. Yeah.
Okay, Jules, we'll be back together next week.
Yep.
I'm so excited. I feel like I'll finally be kind of settled, normal, sound, mind and body, or as much as I can. Mm-hmm. We're definitely going to have a glass of wine and toast being back together.
We will. I can't wait. In the meantime, I feel like you need to do something on the socials to show us your house. I know you don't want to, it won't be braggy, but I really think people are interested, and we've heard you talk about building it and everything, designing it.
Okay. Maybe I'll do, I don't know. I'll figure something out.
Send some pictures to our peeps, and they can turn it into a cool reel, I bet.
Okay.
I think we'll do it.
All right. That makes me uncomfortable, but I'll do it if you tell me.
I want you to do it. I'm so excited about your house.
Okay. All right. You're sweet. Okay. So we will be back for episode 140 next week, and then 141 the week of Thanksgiving with our friends from the Speakeasy.
Yay.
I can't wait to be like the moderator of that whole thing.
I can't wait either. Yeah, they're great guys. I'm excited for the Mom Game peeps to get to know them.
Yeah. Super cool. Okay, Jules, I'll see you in a minute because we have a meeting. But we appreciate all of you guys for being with us on episode 139 of The Mom Game. Please tell your friends, follow us on the socials, give us your feedback, all those things. I know we've been a little bit of an extra shit show lately. Bear with us, we're almost back to normal, and we're grateful that you're along for the ride. Yay. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, Mom Game.